Today we finish our study on the 7 I am statements Jesus made, which are recorded in the book of John. Each time Jesus says I am, he is saying that he is God. Each I am statement also reveals to us a new part of Jesus' character. It tells us a little bit more about who Jesus is. We have learned that he is the bread of life. And because he is the bread of life, what does that do and how does that help us?
He fills our spiritual needs.
He fills our spiritual needs. We also have learned that he is the light of the world and he lights up our spiritual darkness. We learned that Jesus is also the door to the sheepfold and the only entrance to salvation.
Has all power over life and death.
Thank you for that, Natalie. Jesus is also the good what?
Shepherd.
He is also the good shepherd who sacrificed his life for us. Next, we're going to learn that Jesus is the resurrection and the life, and that he has all the power over life and death. That Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, and he provides comfort and certainty, and in an uncertain world. You may have been able to guess that the I am statement from today's game that we did earlier, which was the I am statement. The I am statement Jesus made in the book of John, I am the true grapevine. And what is that verse, Natalie?
Jesus helps us grow when we stay connected to him.
Jesus helps us grow when we stay connected to him. So let's practice carefully as I read today's main message, which is found in John 15, verse 1 through 8. There are a few words in this passage that get repeated a lot. This tells us that they are important. So Jesus is using something that everyone at this time would have known about, grapevines. So listen closely and we're going to get a good picture of the verse, okay? So I want you to listen closely to the whole story and carefully count the words as I read our verse, okay? I am the true grapevine, and my Father is the gardener. He cuts off every branch of mine that doesn't produce fruit, and he prunes the branches that do bear fruit, so they will produce even more. You have already been pruned and purified by the message I have given you. Remain in me, and I will remain in you. For a branch cannot produce fruit if it is severed from the vine, and you cannot be fruitful unless you remain in me. Yes, I am the vine, you are the branches. Those who remain in me and I in them will produce much fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing. Anyone who does not remain in me is thrown away like a useless branch and withers. Such branches are gathered into a pile to be burned. But if you remain in me and my words remain in you, you may ask for anything you want and it will be granted. When you produce much fruit, you are my true disciples. This brings great glory to my God. So how many times did you hear the word grapevine or vine?
3 times.
3 times. That's right, 3 times. So how many times did you hear me say the word branch or branches?
6.
6 times. You're paying attention. And you're reading everything carefully, so good job. And how many times did the word remain appear?
7.
7? Okay, well it's 8 times. So as you can see, all these other words appear quite a bit, right? So let's dig a little bit deeper into the meaning in the passage so we can better understand what Jesus means when he says, I am the true grapevine. Looking at one word, grape or vine. Jesus says in verse 1 that he is the true grapevine. Chances are not too much of us have experience with grapevines. And I know that you also mentioned that you didn't know that raisins were once grapes, right? And that's okay. But you know what? Every day we learn something new, right? people in Jesus' time would have been very familiar with grapevines. See, if you lived back then you would know a lot more about grapes and grapevines, right? So they grew everywhere. When Jesus says he is the vine, we can also picture a tree. And I know you drew your own grapevine. Would you mind showing it to us and to everybody? Describe to me your grapevine. What does it have?
Grapes, leaves, and branches.
Okay, it has grapes, leaves, and branches. But what about the bottom part of the grapevine? Because it has to grow from somewhere. It doesn't go from the ground. I mean, it doesn't grow from the air, right? It grows from the ground. So at the bottom is the trunk and the roots, right? Just because it's just like a tree, right? So do you see how everything's connected? Without the roots and without the trunk, do you think the branch would stay healthy? No. So Jesus is the trunk of that tree. And so that's the main source. That's where everything's coming from, right? So all of the branches are connected to that tree or the grapevine. The branches cannot produce leaves and fruit by themselves. Sometimes that's what God does. He takes things away from us, but it's only for us to grow more as a person. Sometimes we're not ready to let go of things. And sometimes we need a little help. Sometimes we need a little push. Sometimes we're afraid of new experiences, new opportunities. But not only do you have Jesus there to help and to guide you, who also do you have to help and to guide you?
Your family and friends.
Your family and friends, but mostly Jesus. Jesus is the true vine. We remain in him by obeying his command and by loving him. The true vine provides us with what we need to live fruitful lives. Jesus helps us to grow when we stay connected to him. And I think that that's something to be thankful for. What do you think, Natalie?
Yes.
Yes.